Last week in a video, while talking about, the problems that Biden has, and of course, comparing them to the problems that Trump has and the threat that Trump poses, I got angry. I got angry at the terminally online left. The people online say, well, I'm just not going to vote because I don't like Biden's policy on this, or I don't like his policy on that. I'm not going to vote. It pissed me off. And I got a very passionate monologue out of it. Well, at least one viewer, not so happy about it. So I got this comment here from user Sunner Knight, who says, hello there, Farron. Love your content. I know you've been telling us to stick it up and vote for Biden over Trump, even though it's only primary season. My question is, how do you reconcile the fact that most states aren't holding Democratic primaries and the people don't get a choice? Why don't you use your voice to fight to let voters choose? Until then, you have no right to tell us who to vote for. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I didn't tell you who to vote for in that dialogue the other day. I was specifically calling out the people who say I'm not going to vote. But here's the thing, and this is why I wanted to address this question while I'm doing these Q&As. You say that I haven't called out the Democratic Party for not holding Democratic primaries. That's not true. I have done many videos where I have called the party out for that. I have done plenty of videos where I have openly said, I wish Biden wasn't the Democratic nominee. I still wish Biden wasn't the Democratic nominee. And here's the thing. When I did that video the other day, that was the 400th video that I have done this year in 2024. I've now done over 430 videos. I do more than 60 videos per week between this channel, Fair and Balanced, and Ring of Fire. So when you say like, oh, you haven't talked about this issue, yes, I have. I'm doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos per month across 2 different channels. And listen, I'm not expecting you to watch every single video I do to know every single thing that I say. I mean, that's impractical. But at the same time, if you're not watching every single video I do across both channels, you can't accuse me of not covering an issue. Again, especially this one, which I very clearly have many, many times. What the Democratic Party has done with the Democratic primary is BS. It's stupid, and I don't like it. I am not a cheerleader for President Biden by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't want him to be the nominee in 2020. I was praying that he wasn't going to win for re-election or run for re-election. And when he did say he was going to run, I thought, okay, let's have the primaries. I've said that repeatedly. Let's have the primaries. I was prepared here in the Florida primary to go and vote against him. But if he is the nominee, which he is going to be, because as you point out, they're not having primaries, it isn't fair. But even if we had that primary right now, with the candidates that are in the race right now, I would vote for him in the primary. Because the people I wanted to run didn't run. And out of the options we have right now on the Democratic side, even if we had primaries, I still think Biden's better because Marianne Williamson is out of the race. And I don't think Cenk Uygur is going to be able to actually stay on the ballot. He's not a naturally born citizen. That's just the way that works. And I like Cenk a lot. I really do. I don't agree with everything he says, especially recently, but it is what it is. So here's the thing. I get your frustration that you may not have heard me talk about those things, but just because you didn't hear it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And yes, if we go into November and the choices on that ballot between the viable candidates are Biden and Trump, I'm voting Biden. If the election were held today, I'm voting Biden. So you can do whatever you want. As I said in the video, I just don't like the people saying, well, I'm just not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. That's what pisses me off. You can't look at all of the problems in this country and then act like, well, nope, I'm just not going to do it, not going to participate. That's what pisses me off. And I see too much of that online. And I'm trying to spend less time online on Twitter or X or whatever the frick it's called. I don't care anymore. I don't care about so many of these other opinions anymore. I live in a state that is actively oppressing women, oppressing minorities, oppressing the LGBTQ community, and that is what they want to do on the national stage. And I am going to use my voice and my platform to fight against that. Because I see it. I have experienced, even as a white guy, the repercussions of that. And the repercussions I've felt have been minuscule compared to the actual people who are being targeted. And I am going to do what it takes to not let that happen on a national level. That's why I got pissed off the other day, and that's why I'm pissed off now. But again, I appreciate your kind words. You love my content. I love that. Thank you. And I've seen your questions before in these Q&As. But again, hundreds of videos a month. So just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean I didn't address it and doesn't mean it didn't piss me off. Because I am pissed at the Democrats for what they've done. We deserved a better choice. But at the end of the day, we get what we get. And we will have to make that choice between Biden or Trump. And I know which one I'm going with.